for each of these different dimensions to suggest a strategy they felt was something to improve quality. And a prompt was given to help kind of frame this, and you can see, so for example, effectiveness, what's a strategy that would maximize vision acuity improvement, efficiency, maximize efficiency resources, safety is of what harms the patient. So this is the framing context to capture that. So people are invited to each of these to set up the three ideas. And the panel made more than 7,000 suggestions. Okay? And all of those suggestions might be, this just gives you a snapshot on contributions from people who all three rounds. You can see countries at the top where people came from, including Uganda. And these were the things when they had those ordered things were the most common strategy for seeking to improve quality. So ordered monitoring of the sort of conditions. Insurance have the same quality standards as services. Agreeing the best national. So that's the view from specialists from the African countries. So these are safety, efficiency, effectiveness, integration, capture people's perspective. And you see in these sort of kind of high-level summaries of some of the topics that were really flagged up. So, for example, in terms of safety, so that auditor monitoring guidelines, surgical checklists, skills of the surgery, difficulty of surgery. So all sorts of key ideas, training in particular, linking to issue, an example of that soon. So ordering them in terms of how these were then ranked by region, okay, were ranked in the top 10 in different regions. You can see trying to improve rural surgery quality, in that urban rural surgery quality equal was highlighted and voted on within the top 10 in 6 out of the 7 world regions. In terms of other things that are highly so you've got 4 or 5 regions saying training process, audit, national guidelines, and improve horizontal integrated practice were also in the top 10. For 2 or 3 regions, it was this class here, a range of ideas. So, so that's kind of a very well summary. My Jackie, who led the work, is currently to summarize this on it. Great. Save that. I'm watching a little snapshot of the data. Illustrate just one of these. So linking to a practice. So this is from the board from and Rita did the MSc and she did as part of a project in London Base Hospital, looking at people who are having tract surgery periodically and again after surgery, and this is all circumcision, cataract surgery, and manual circumcision. And just to orient you, on the left is horizontal axis, the doctor's vision. So you can see it goes, I think one of them, there's a little down the far left, I don't know if that's a data error, but most of them are coming in the 624 to 360 range. There are a few people who have very, very severe vision. So that's their preoperative vision state. Post-operatively, this is something like people raw back vision reshape. can see the postoperative position on the vertical axis. Okay. Now, just throwing our minds back to what Dr. Joe was asking people to consider a good outcome of 6/12 or better now. So everything that's below the horizontal red line is now considered to be a good result. Everything above the red line, a month after surgery, is not considered to be good. Alright? So without sex, without surgery, 35% had a good post outcome. And this is a high volume surgery. You don't think of it, you can testify this is a good quality movie. High throughput, well shaped. Okay, so a month later, they were refracted. And with the refraction, you were able to move them from 35 to. So the large majority of that quality into the lens choice was right. The pre-existing or interesting. They were mostly being vertical. I suspect if they could horizontal, probably have a little less stick. But it just shows that the simple maneuver of refracting can move them virtually all of the large majority, 90% of the good outcome. Now, there are probably issues that are probably in the surgery, choice lens, artery, considering symptoms and how you might operate the axis and so on, that could do a lot of heavy lifting that need for glasses. But it just shows that it is possible to close the glasses. Just to think about quality, action to improve quality. First one is government quality, and by that I mean having your national standards, having your requirements, having, as is highlighted by specialists, having systems to monitor outcomes, not to be a stick to beat the surgical head, but a tool to really seek to improve to learn from experience. The design and services, how services are structured, can either really help or hinder the delivery of services. To think about how this is structured, for those patients through during the various things in place to maximize the quality. There's inevitably a training component, how to train ourselves, how to train the residents coming through, and the kind of work environment, the equipment available, and so on. All have a really different quality. And then the fourth one, which is really happening increasingly, is patient expectations. Patients can expect, certainly in the context of line practice, would expect to be able to have a preparation and not be frozen. That may not be realistic, particularly if you want to do it, but I think it's a question of patient expectations will drive action on our behalf to raise the quality. So those are the four reflections on quality, and that is everything on that one.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to have a minute to drink some water. Thank you very much for this very, very important talk and quite timely. So I'll open up for discussion maybe about 10 minutes. Move to the next presentation. And please keep me informed on when we need to move to our next. So if you have a question or comment, please let us know. There's one here. That is gone. Okay, we'll start with Asaf here.
Thank you, the moderator, and thank you, Professor, for the wonderful presentation. I would like to know regarding the surgical coverage, whether there is a time at which this outcome is measured, or a limit in time beyond which maybe this no longer becomes part of the data? Thank you.
Really, really excellent question. Really excellent question. Thank you. So the data for effective cataract surgical coverage is based on across. Yeah. So it's not done a fixed time after surgery. That will be your cataract surgical outcome. You know, if you're monitoring your outcomes, you might want to look a month or whatever is practical and realistic in your from this. So the ECSC is a population indicator of how well at a population level we're doing in terms of providing services. So, so it doesn't necessarily reflect how good or not good the surgery you or in the region is going. And we all know that posterior capsular classification reduces with time. Yeah. If you operate on someone in their 50s and they get to their 80s, they may have some macular degeneration or some glaucoma. So there's a whole range of things that can feed into this number, pushing it down. But there's no doubt that, in my mind, that a lot of that gap can be closed. So it's about integrating things, our services with refractive services, the optometry side. It is ensuring that we counsel our patients that if their vision does decline, 2, 3, 4 years later, come back and see me, because some things happen. We can do a little bit later light treatment and fix it for you. So just be really careful to ensure that they know that things can decline and come back. And also having the services that we have later as well. So absolutely right, but it's not a difficult after surgery.
And just to emphasize that point, part of the counseling, pre-op counseling for cataracts, should actually inform people of things like you might need glasses later, or if vision is good now, but 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, it might become a bit blurry. That doesn't mean the operation has failed. You can just come back and fix that. Some patients have said, "Oh, doctor put a Chinese lens, so now it's fired."
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor, for giving us this wonderful speech. I've already done that for you in my department. So I've been able to explain all these things in our department and at Mango, and we're doing a lot of monitoring. Close related to the question you just answered, I think also as our units, we should still aim for our 612 in our monitoring. In the end, we can compound, and then eventually in the community, we can still get good quality in the community. My issues, I want you to emphasize for us. Remember, we used to do presenting VA. Used to be defined as without glass, the secret before. Just for emphasis for you, for us to remember that when we are doing the effective cataract surgical coverage, is how the patient presents. Just to emphasize that exercise for us, otherwise we will still go back here when confused. Thank you.
Very important point. So PVA, presented visual acuity, is how the patient turns up. So if they've got no glasses, without glasses. If they've got glasses on their face, with the glasses. If they've got glasses, but they've left them at home, you have to measure the glasses because they're not on their face. But it's as they present. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Matthew, for that talk. I have 2 comments. The first one is with the last slide that you shared that had 2 photographs. Was there any data on the patients that had operation after 1 month without the glasses? That was given the surgical technique has something to do with the lower outcome in the first period as compared to 1 month later, or it's just
Thank you. So, what we can say is that most of them move from being above the red line to being below the red line with refraction. So that suggests that most of the residual vision impairment is attributable or can be addressed with refraction. I think centre we're talking about is a very good centre. It has good access to funding, has good access to the full range of ocular areas. So what they are doing is they're looking at this in much more depth. They're looking at what's happening with symptoms, for example, and thinking about do they from further approaches a superior decision to maybe temporal. Does that change how much reduces astigmatism, reduces astigmatism? I think that some review like that might help. Perhaps less meaning for the surgeon, but it's certainly doable. But they need to do a much more in-depth analysis of what's happening with refraction. And Rena's currently doing that, and will be hopefully submitting a paper for review in the next few months.
Thank you. The other one is for operation. Is it that those operated with more mature cataracts have less desirable outcomes also operated earlier? There's a lot of a bit. It looks like people who have operation at the age of 6, 18 have more desirable outcome than those who had it much later.
So this is slightly confusing. Let me explain what. So this is measuring the proportion of percentage into effective cataract surgical coverage. So it's that population level marker and the 6 better. So this is using the new. Most surveys we have 6, 18%, but there are a few countries, these 15 or so, that had 6, 12 or better. So this is looking at what proportion get to 6, 12. And what you can see is the changing curve is not the outcome level, but rather the threshold at which surgeries, if you analyse data, surgeries done. So the purple one is blindness. So if you look at the population, what proportion of people who are blind from cataract have had their cataract operated and reached 6 to 12? So it's not actually telling you about outcome by severity of cataract preoperatively. It's telling you about, if you just look at the threshold that you want to work at in a country. So some countries 20 years ago they would operate on people who were blind because there was such a finite limit to the services. As services have become stronger and more available, countries will tend to again probably work at 618 seems to be fairly standard. Be interested to hear what you feel the current sort of typical vision impairment level is in Uganda.
What's the threshold in Mango for operable cataracts?
Now, for Mango, generally, it's what the patient has told us. Generally. But many times we're comfortable, and I think we do with 624 downwards. The 6 12 and another, we still operate them. After the operation, they need to put it to vision.
What's your
Thank you. I think threshold is very subjective. If in my practice, my usual outcome is 618 or worse, then I'm not operating the body with 612. But if I know I can kill this as my body, then I operate on 619. Is there evidence of course? It's going to pay. Then I operate 69 to still do it. So there are more and more things. There's a commercial component in the care. Which is very important.
Yeah.
So also that expected outcome varies and experience. When I was being intracausal extraction, I would ask the
been using some protein. People, the patient ask for better. Patient come with 612 and they want 66 going on to 8, want to drive. So it will also drive our patients. So they are very dynamic parameters. Yes.
So you touch on demand and give some examples of that. What are the strategies that people are currently using in the different units to monitor and to then think about using that data to try and drive up quality? Just be interested to hear what people's experience has been in that way.
Can I get the question? Could I get the question again?
Yeah. So in different units, thinking about quality of outcomes, what are some of the approaches or strategies that you've been thinking about or deploying to kind of work out the outcomes, how to monitor the outcomes, but also to then use that information and inform your approaches to improving quality where you're not entirely happy with it? Is it possible to shut the doors?
Yes, we want to improve. That's the bottom line. So, for a long time, we knew, for example, issues of biometry. We really identified that the contacts sometimes will get surprises of -2, -4. So we deliberately decided and made noise. So we have now all the ranges of biometry you can think of, including lens, probably lens. Is the top end in terms of optical biometry. So we have that, we have to sort that out. But as we continue to monitor, we still find that yes, the biometry is now okay, but there are still some things which we're still getting something which are not right. And what did we discover? Even the selection of the person was a problem. Because we are monitoring people who had diabetic macular issues. So we went back to improve on our clinical assessment, clinical adjuvant assessment, and we do that on a regular ground every day. In fact, we do it every Thursday. Every Thursday morning, we are discussing outcome of cataract surgery, which has happened last week. Then along the way, we discovered, we have a very interesting graph. I think one time I'm going to present to you. And we continued, and along the way, we discovered, so we are doing things very well. Biometry, okay, you get 0 sphere, but something about astigmatism. So we start now emphasizing, talking, what do we do with astigmatism? The good thing with LensStar, it gives you biometry and not the pre-existing biometry, the astigmatism and the angle, and it uses it in a class form. So basically what you need to do is to put your incision on the area of the what? So we also went that. But even when we have done that, sometimes even when the astigmatism is there, but you look at everything else and you're still not getting 6.6. Then we still ask ourselves, what's the issue? We said our optimists is doing for us good diffraction, and some of them are here. Where is the is there? So we discuss them. So I think we need to get who are also doing what? Doing astigmatic. And now we know that those who are very good at collecting, picking out astigmatic things, and they also learn to do better. So we discuss it and so there was some new recruitment, so and we discussed this on individual grounds, and surgeons are given also their own performances. So we are really going there. Thank you very much.
That's great, fantastic.
That will be the last question before we move to the next talk.
So thank you, Prof. I'm actually just responding to his question and perhaps giving a different test of things from Mengo Hospital, where I happen to work at the public facility in Masaka, and we don't have any staff. So we don't have optometrists. We have all the fancy tools for astigmatism, things different. But what I can say about the department is that we only managed to secure entry, I think, 6 months ago. So the last 3 or 4 years, we don't necessarily have entry. So that's a very big step. That's the related to Dr. Zimoroto, who also does perhaps some time. So that's step 1. At the very same even for the biometry is in the routine pathological monitoring use the visual tool. And once we normal time to analyze the data before and after, and then from there start to tweak the finer details that Dr. is talking about. But I still feel that we make an improvement in those tools that he has at his disposal. I call upon all my colleagues who work in public services to make sure they are also thinking very actively about quality rather than just about surgeries and reporting in the field. I don't know how many of them I met. I know Arua. Kathy, do you have biometric in Arua? She has no biometric in Arua. What's your biometric? No biometric. Who is he? So there's no biometric. So that's the status of things that public facilities still have a lot to go.
Thank you. As we move to the next talk, I just want to read the date of Matthew. So this is the paper that's published in Cosmo. And our statistical coverage at this 12 threshold is at 19.7%. And we have statistical coverage at 73%. So that's a lot for us. Thank you for sharing this. One of the things I think that is when you talk about the having the additional supplies, because I think it will really help us. I mean, Dr. John is passionate about some amazing things that have really been watching that have changed the landscape. And so we would actually to have national guidelines around podcasting. That helps us because partners of ours, if that program should not proceed without me, they will invest in these things. A good operating microscope, invest in these things as long as we have a national guideline that has been provided for ophthalmology and discuss. So just moving on to Matthew, and also the raw data that have collected now, we'll be able to get the ET access issues and try the population which have contributed the biggest.
You talk about national guidelines as we shouldn't be outcome of this meeting here today. Make a resolution. This is a committee of guidelines which can be taken. This who else will do it?
Professor Chalini wanted to start auditing. He said, not audit his outcomes like a chef does not test his own food. So I nominate Dr. Zimoroto. Who else wants to be on the subcommittee? Of course, that is so. Rebecca. Oh, wow. So I register Dr. Lima and inform this subcommittee very much.
perhaps some of the data if we can. Okay. So my suggestion is for you to talk to Ian McConnell, who's a member of the supports for rapidly. He's done a lot about how to do more there. Currently, the rapid collection is not for doesn't disaggregate from the rule, and this is something that I would be really interested to see advanced methodology in the future. But it will be, you know, if you can classify your data set that is you may be able to then do additional analysis, but I suspect if you know the people who are very involved in this, they're able to classify. So I think that's probably what you do.
Thursday, I'm coming for you. We're going to look at our data that we have. Dr. J. Okay. So we'll allow you to go to the international dates. Ophthalmology is a head of department, University Gari. Is just a new residency training program which we'll be telling us about. And we are proud to be a must alumnus. So, LCM alumnus of Ophthalmology.
Thank you. I don't know most cases are operated on outreaches, and this makes it quite difficult. So I don't know if cases operated here are operated from on-site, health facilities, and it is easy to monitor, and you can get that accurate information even at the end. The other thing is a little bit of experience we have back home, where NGOs influence what you call operable cataract, actually, okay? Some certainly will decide not to operate actually operable cataract because maybe they're on outreach and they just set a number of cases to operate on. So 624 is a luxury, okay? You're only going for light perception, hand motion, okay? But 624 actually, depending on what one does, is as demanding as somebody with light perception. The other thing is also digitalization of this tool. Back home, what we've done, there is a HIMS system which is, is here also. So we've incorporated eye tracker tool within the system. It is now digitalized. So if you go for an outreach, we've included the element of quality and follow-up. So if I get operated from Harrow and I come from Fort Portal, as long as I report at Fort Portal with my unique ID, somebody is going in the system is still going to see the follow-up. So this has really helped us on follow-up loss of issue. But the issue again is on regulation. So you find that somebody doing operations, you know that it is linked to allowances at the end. They somehow influence and respond to it, which is very unfortunate. So these outcomes shouldn't be taken like the truth, like the gospel truth, it isn't. So there has to be strict measures to actually verify that data collected is indeed true, accurate data. That's what I wanted to support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're coming over to
I want to say something to help in terms of what you mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
It's true. It must be real that. And that's what as a baseline is what you should do. Now, we also knew that garbage in, garbage out. If you are not following all the patients, you're only following a few, then your data probably is skewed. So I will share with you, what is the other one? She's not here. But I think we will put, 100,000 per month for calling these patients. And the real truth is it makes a very, 100,000, that's about how many in dollars? Exactly. Yeah. So we have invested in that. So it's about $30 a month to call this patient. I've been doing this thing since 2022. And again, I will share with you again at some point. The graph of the proportion of people who are returning is much better. In that case, we have more chance to believe in our data. And in the collection, we'll train the audience to be able to do these things. So it's not accurate, so there's no bias. So the collection is good. Thank you. So investing about $30 a month has not cost us a lot of issues, but then instead has given us a lot of patients to follow, and we can now believe in our data. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We are really doing badly with time. So we need to vote a resolution to extend the Congress today a little bit, like for 2 more hours. Otherwise, we need to think about time. It's 10, and we are in the first presentation. Over to you.
Thank you. So next, we are going to talk about AI in ophthalmology. And Professor Matthew is going to tell us about a very exciting project that we are going to be starting shortly in Uganda that is called the Africa Ophthalmics Research Program.
Great, thank you. This is very short, so don't worry. This is kind of like to introduce you to a new project that we will be starting in the first quarter of next year. So it's all we comes at Africa Research and sometimes how we harness information to transfer. And it's a partnership between those that for eye EBRI Italy and more specifically the German cohort, which is basically is kind of the main sort of and ophthalmology in London. I'm very led by pharmacology there, and see and some as well as is key. And just to kind of give you a sense of this is the hypothesis is that I won't need to sell this to you, but to general physicians we have to, is that the eye has a lot of information in it that tells us about the health of the whole person, not just the health of the eyes. And this is an area that has become really, really active in terms of research and translation, really over the last 4 or 5 years, and is really exciting. And so we hypothesized that these images that we can take, when you analyze them using special AI systems, can tell you a lot about not only just the current prognosis in the eye, the prognosis in the eye, but also about current systemic prognosis, and really excitingly about the potential prognosis and prediction of systemic disease 2 or 3 or 4 years hence. And it's really been, so let's just move on. So this is something we're all familiar with, in which there are many ocular manifestations of systemic health. whether it's microvascular disease from diabetes and hypertension or neurological conditions. And it kind of is multi-directional. By that I mean vision impairment can have an impact on someone's systemic health, because, for example, if you're vision impaired, your ability to exercise might be somewhat reduced, and therefore your cardiac health might be less good. Vision impairment is definitely a risk factor, along with auditory impairment, for cognitive decline. And there's been analysis in the UK that in terms of interventions to slow cognitive decline in people with early dementia, cataract surgery is in fact the most cost-effective intervention to slow the decline, which I think is amazing. So what is oculomics? So oculomics is the emerging field of study into the relationship between ocular biomarkers and systemic health disease. And its development is being transformed by advances in high-resolution ocular digital imaging, coupled with recent advances in AI. And it's got enormous potential to identify and track biomarkers for systemic diseases, which can be diagnostic, prognostic, and/or predictive. And it's already showing strong potential in non-African populations for identifying and/or predicting non-communicable diseases, particularly. So including things like cardiovascular disease, renal and liver disease, sarcopenia, that's wasting muscles, mental health conditions, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and potentially pregnancy-associated hypertension. And it's got enormous potential, I think, for translation into clinical practice, particularly where specialist expertise are in limited supply. And it's got potentially really scalable, and with some new advances in imaging equipment and reducing costs, becoming more affordable all the time. So this is just the one slide I'm going to show you about some background data. So overall, if you look at AI research that's done around the world, African populations have received much less attention than, say, South Asian or China or European populations. And one of the ambitions we've got is to address that gap. And a major obstacle is the scarcity, limited amount of large labelled image collections to train traditional AI models. Traditionally, if you wanted to, up to a few years ago, if you wanted to make an AI model, say to diagnose diabetic retinopathy, you'd have to collect thousands and thousands of images. And you sit there, you would also do it with images manually, and say, sometimes that mobile phones transformed telecommunications 20 years ago. You the need to have physical infrastructure. This innovation is coming out of AI has the potential to leapfrog, and it's all so foundation model, a model that's on a very, very large number of places. Potentially taken, and then with a little bit of extra data from a local regional population, doing that to your local population, so you don't need this very large amount of data. So the first foundation model in ophthalmology called Brett was his keen music, and based on about 1.1 million images from and these are unlabeled, so they haven't graded, but basically they threw these images at the computer and it comes up with structural understanding. It's not ophthalmologists, and your first thing the resume with something you're also not normal. And what this is doing is what we do for ophthalmologists. We do teach them, but part of their learning is the experience of being exposed to hundreds of patients, isn't it? So they build up this mental map, distribution of what's normal and abnormal. That was a bit funny, but quite sure I know it's This first model, as an example, which data London, if the London population is one of the most populations in the world. So this is from South Asia, from East Asia, from African nations, as well as the Caucasian populations. But it's not good enough. A new project will be the Global Rep Found project, which over the next we're going to have 100 million images from all three representations to that foundation that we can then take. So that's the vision. Very clearly, it was achieved to study this, and it found that photograph 1.0 outcome data of the same person can be predictive, can be of, for example, a heart attack 3 years ahead, cardiac failure, Parkinson's disease 3 years ahead. So these graphs are bottom right. I'm sorry it's not clear, but if we take myocardial function, with the little graph on the left, it's plotting something called the area of the curve. And that's one of the standard ways to say how good it is. Physicians in Cabrera or hospital and work out how likely somebody is to have nasty hypertension. Look at a range of risks, and there's a very clear proved risk algorithm that gives you an answer. And actually, the performance of this photograph with this model is comparable to that already, and that's just about the first. So I think it's really exciting that you can begin to see who are the folk in the population who are going to potentially be more likely to run off problems that we need to do something about. We need to actually. Okay, so that's a bit of the background. So a bit of the plan. So GPC, or General Population Cohort, was established quite a long time ago, 1989. It was a population in 25 cluster of 20 villages, and they are revisited every year, and there's a census there. They do lots of different stuff there, and what we will be doing is a baseline, hopefully next year and into the year after, where each adult, there's 12,000 adults in the 25 villages, invited, and hopefully will choose to participate in a range of assessments. So left is what everyone gets. So ophthalmology and examination, anthropometry, blood pressure, cardiovascular, medical screening, neuro screening, hearing screening, looking at liver health, liver muscles, liver health, all sorts of things. And a range of blood tests. You can see the blood test at the bottom. That's a pretty comprehensive workup. And this is going to give us a really this person's systemic health for all the what we can find out. And then if someone has on screen from neurology, maybe they've got symptoms from a previous stroke, for example, then they have an additional examination. So we expect that 5 to 10% will require additional assessment. And then in the following 2 years, to see the images, we optimize the foundation from models and any additional models that come along. And we'll analyze them in relation to current health state, ethnic states, and then look at tuning those models for the population. Hopefully help us to get a sense of how people are and predicting more and in this 3 to 5 years, we're going to do some additional studies looking at the these tools in healthcare systems, particularly the NCD, looking at suitable equipment, how well it works, and then use additional particularly interesting pregnancy. One of the challenges they have is they don't know this happens, that women are going to start getting hypertensive complications of pregnancy. And the hypothesis is that intraretinal OCT, geography of the retinal vasculature, might just clues, perhaps, say, for example, there's a constriction ahead of blood sugar going up. We are clues of respectable being on a more track, more likely to. And so I think it's going to be really useful, powerful application of this. That's what the other. And phase 4, back to the is repeat this protocol by sharing oils and medications, imaging infections, blood tests, to look at what's happening in between. To look at, for example, from your point of view, what's the incidence of cataract? We should be able to read or looking at the optic disc progression of incidence of glaucoma. So hopefully provide incredibly valuable data to Uganda and region about eye health. But then also we're going to look at, for example, cardiac events, and bring that back to the baseline to see whether the images and the analysis can help us see what's going on. This is the team. Lots of people here. Rebecca, also I think you're in the room, Rebecca. Where are you, Rebecca? Oh, you're okay. So there's a lot of people with lots of different specialties. Kidney doctors, liver doctors. This is, I think, one really exciting things for me. Apart from the nutrition, virtually every department is involved, and I think if we can pull something into really, really interdisciplinary approach. So there's not really outcomes. I think if we look at the most detailed academics projects, certainly we are going to be representative. I think it's really interesting to see how well these tools work for many current diagnosis of future progress in prediction. I think there's interesting stuff that we'll be able to say along the way. There's a strong doctoral levels of PhD opportunities, and then also level scientists in Uganda. And then the impact of what we're heading over, I guess this is a decade is that it will enable early diagnosis, risk stratification of people, so we can have targeted approaches to help them. And also be experimental.
So let's see some questions. We can have a question. Will invite us for here.
How many should we listen?
83.
No question. No question. Spoil the game.
Sounds exciting. But two is how I know I'm invested in the purpose. There are always been these issues of the issues. That's number one. And the other thing is that there are in this study where the people who have been diagnosed, I mean, maybe eventually we can leave home.
Data, absolute data is crucial to data security. So it's all built on the MRC data infrastructure. So they've got a very, very, very robust data. They've got one of the largest sort of biomedical data systems in the continent, actually, which is very, very secure. The transfer of images and other data from the field sites we've been looking at. In fact, we had quite detailed meetings. It's very secure. So it's all held there at the MRC. It's not going around or anything like that. So I think it's building on decades of infrastructure. So this is a cohort we go to the 1980s, and there's a fantastic relation between the community and the study teams that work there. They live in the community, they kind of people there all the time. And the practice has been, and will be, of course, to this study, is that people who are identified as medical, they're all physicians, they'll be an ophthalmologist embedded in the team examining people, makes something that are amenable to immediate solutions in the field. And immeasurable 25 villages, there's a health facility, so often people are referred into that. If people are more complex, the pattern is referred to in the support. So that is a key. This, you want to think is really is this can hopefully convince you that we are beginning of something really exciting. So this is from Northern Tanzania, from Kilimanjaro, where there's been a diabetic revolution for about 15 to 20 years. It's one of those, it's quite, it's serving 20 clinics in the region that have ECD, regular ECD clinics. The nurse office is one of the energy clinics for blood pressure sugar as well, where they have diabetic patients regularly to get their internet checkup. And the program that the ophthalmology department of King's Hospital, I'm sure you know, so Dr. William Cooper, for example, who heads this, they send out a vehicle most days of the week to one of these centres, so that they are visiting the children, and they used to see top con, they still do. And the camera comes back with its laptop, and one of them sits down and makes the pictures. And about 3 or 4 weeks later, after they've sold the phone, and first the patient says, problem on your picture, you can see it, you can check you out more properly before you treat. And what they found is, in that process, only that one they rang up, saying you need to come up, actually made it to Mosh before that. So they've got a big gap. They do want to, but less than about 20% of the flow putting up. And so the question is, can we use and employ an AI-based system to clinical pathway? So this camera is a video camera, smartphone in the back, takes the picture, and you can do the same with the smartphone. And the images go into the laptop. The laptop gives you a need to refer or no need to refer. So these are all patients refer. And we did start with William Cooper. 2,000 people, either the standard system, photograph, run up a few days on or photograph response. So and counsel them about it, and then talk about why it's important to watch together and to make an opportunity to discuss it. And in that trial, so it's a full randomized control trial, we will not get into the paper, but I'll give you a sneak preview, go from 10% to 40%. So that's a differential. We've yet to get it, get to the paper, but it's the big assumption. Still, the majority are not coming up, so we don't need other strategies to close that. But just offering real-time counseling, real-time practice, and show the patient picture seems to be a motivator. And of course, it's not share. It means that those residents are not potentially will not need to spend a lot in the pictures, for example, and the time doing something that only they can do. So that's just an example. And the government, the 5 regional directors, having seen it work well, even what got published, Bernadette Chilier is the lead. They made a decision already getting in those 5%, those regional programs. So, and these results are about $4,000, so they're not as expensive as the big one.
Thank you very much for this. Thank you much. Our is ready. So we have the from the same place. We are going to go our teachers for PhD. 35. So she said 25 minutes, remove 5 minutes for taxation, we have 20 minutes, we go grab tea, come back here, we find when we have edited the program, so that we make it shorter, because we must finish on time. Today is voting day. Those are why intending to start be campaigning during tea, so that in the afternoon we don't spend a lot of time campaigning.
There's a free one here. There's a free one here. It's all of it.
Yes, thank you. Welcome back again with a few sad faces. We shall rectify that shortly. We are going to continue with our presentations. We still have a few things. I really request the presenters to be mindful of time, knowing that there are people going to present after you. And the questions we shall keep them to the minimum so that we can get out of here in time. Dr. Simon, the moderator, has stepped out from when he enters in, we shall continue the sessions. For the people who missed a cup of tea, when it gets ready, we shall go out, pick, come and sit. We shall have a continuing working tea so that we can catch up with the lost time.
So we're going to quickly do the research mentorship session and then we'll probably have tea. So on the stage, allow me to invite Dr. Gladys Atto. An ophthalmologist from Karamoja. Please give her an applause. Yes. Let's have Professor Matthew Burton. And then myself. So we're going to have a conversation around our experiences in terms of research, and probably we will be able to provide maybe some tips .
The timekeeper, give them 15 minutes since they are 3. Start timing now.
Okay, so we will have an opportunity to interview each other. And then if you have questions, please just not ask at the end. So I'll start with the Professor Matthew Burton. So Matthew, welcome to this panel. You have mentored so many young academics over the past few years. So what are some of the things that you look out for when someone approaches you to supervise them?
Yes, thanks. Motivation and potential. By motivation, being a researcher, an academic, clinical academic is 2 jobs instead of just 1. And it's a tough road, particularly if you want to do it quite seriously and do a PhD and beyond. And so therefore I think it's really important to have a very honest and open conversation about the reality of that it is hard work, and to really dig into why this person is interested in doing this, to really just assess that it makes sense for them and their career pathway. And then potential. So potential, by that I mean that do they already have training and some characteristics, qualities that are likely to enable us to do that one. So have they, for example, made a good effort for, in this context, with their M&A project? Do they kind of really get into that project with their passion about it? Can they talk to you about it and really explain what they did and excited by that?
That's interesting. You talked about characteristics. So, I mean, you've seen a number of people come through. Probably some have gone on to be very successful as clinical academics, some probably not. What have you noticed as the characteristics that make up those people and help them to succeed?
So it goes back to that motivation thing. Because it's a hard job, it requires you to have real drive and motivation. Clearly, some people are more academically able than others. In my time, I've worked with quite a spectrum, and those that really take off. Often, you can see if you look at their CV. I'm not saying this is everything, but if you look at their CV, you can see a pattern of them engaging with research activities. They take their MA project and they've really written up as a paper, got it published, for example. That's something, or they've really engaged thoroughly with clinical audit and applying really to that. Those early indicators often are quite good predictors. I think that shows that someone is interested, engaged, they ask the right questions, but then they take the project through, not just do the data collection, but to take it through to getting it disseminated. And it's that whole pathway I think it's really important to see early on.
Speaking of research projects, MA research projects, one of the things that we do, like in our department, is to encourage them not to just get the data and throw it at a biostatistician and say, what is significant from that data, but to be engaged with it. But in this room, there are some young colleagues, probably they are starting their residency or they're about to finish their residency. I didn't think about doing research. What's something you can give advice or things that you focus on?
Yeah. So I think first thing to say, research is never done well, I believe, when it's done in isolation. So it's been, you try to identify a group of like-minded people, maybe a mentor or someone that you can work under or work on, help you, can advise and guide you. I think mentorship is really important. So trying to find someone that's good, who's got an interest in your research to help you. I think there are specific things you do to equip yourself better. So there are a range of free courses now. At ICH, if you have a look at our website, we have 7 or 8 online courses, each around 4 weeks long. 2 free, 2 around basic research methodologies. So you don't have much training. Have a look at some of those free resources and find also on the internet other courses which are free, a bit more advanced in sort of statistics and technology. So those are certain things. But then with the mentor, supervisors, to then look at what is the pathway. for example, our Masters in Public Health is an example of what we do in we'll train in with skills we've got in we've got kind of scaling up, and then from that point onwards, that's when you start to get to off, because then you've got a skill that even if you're able to data, you can do
That's very important. So skill yourself, do something. All right. So one of those who probably someone like PG or SCL who at least done an MSc and think about research seriously. And now with we all know with the changing landscape of research. From the horizon, what do you think are going to be the big goals in the next 5 to 10 years, so that one can strategize themselves?
So we talk about that. I think that's going to be part of all of our futures, all this part of all of our present clinical practice. I think it will become very important. I think around that, cataract is a big, biggest cause of blindness. So we really need to embrace that and say, you may not feel very exciting with cataract, but it doesn't make a difference to people if you deal with it. And so I would think in terms of, just thinking of the ECSEs, how in the Ugandan context do we systematically, for the whole country, drive up effective cataract recovery? And that's going to need a
mentor, really. Not the kind of mentor that everyone thinks where you talk every day. We talk very strategically, and he has always been there. I remember when I went to start my master's, he was starting off with his PhD. And now, Simon, could you please just share with us what made you gain interest or think big to go forth and just start off the PhD?
Yeah, I think like Matthew mentioned, it's really interest. That interest has to be there to do it. And for me, I believe, think about my journey, it was a couple of things that pushed me in that direction. And one of them was, he might not remember, but my supervisor, my MMed thesis supervisor was Dr. Lisbon. And he had just come back from a master's in biostatistics, something from Cape Town, yeah? And my peers, when I got him as my supervisor, my peers were like, wow, when you're lucky, you have a supervisor. And then this came and said, I want to do anything and that's for you. Go, do it, and come and present it to me whether it's right. But it was like he pushed me to the big end. And I would sit in my house and stay there, and the whole night I'm the one come and yes, that's what you to ask me this call. And really the director was really those things me very, very interested. And we must publish the master research, and I did that. But all those things in that direction to say, actually, I would like to build on this go more.
Thank you very much. It's actually good to see how getting started. A common faces that we see like Dr. Lisbon. I'd actually go to Stanford and school. So this is great. Many people are working with mental center, Lisbon, and so you can take the opportunity, you can actually have a day. And then Simon, this is that. So when you went for your PhD, were expectations different? Did you find anything shocking? Because we all think from PhD we're going to PhD, everything is okay. That's anything different.
Yeah, and that's a reality of the issue. One of the things that happens is that a PhD is actually a lonely journey, because you are diving into this topic and you're there sort of alone. You have colleagues, others are also researching different things. So you reach a time when it gets hard, actually. And I remember having a meeting somewhere with Dr. Stephen Gishuli, who is the head department in University of Nairobi. And we're talking, and then he had just finished PhD, and then he turned to me like, with a serious face and said, Simon, have you hit rock with your PhD? I looked at him and said, I think I have. You know, waking up and asking myself, what was I thinking? Why did I get myself into this? But then he told me, now that you're at the bottom, the only way is up. So, but the whole point is that going through the, understanding the data, doing the research, can't be as much to say. But the motive is what needs to push. Something like I believe someone should have before they get on this. You should not do a PhD for getting a promotion or getting a pay or this. It should be
That's a good one. I think you also is like all of us. Look at the journey that is had. Everything will just move from him. But here you say that because the journey makes us, share innocent and things and do it. I think we all experience masters every minute where we think one drop in here, maybe but yeah, thank you very much. And now on top of that, what do you think because and I think I really some qualities that in young people that really could make a successful career journey. Maybe that's
yeah, and I'm being very blessed to have one of them that God has given me very good mentors. I've been very blessed. About Dr. Lisbon. My PhD was his master's thesis. Yeah, I've had the Professor Kagamu at that point when I was on Julie. And I thought about it and I did it. And then one day he came to me and said, why not it? You know how we can be very fun. And then people like Matthew. And I found different kind of niche that I was used to, because people actually walk with you. They walk with you, you see and design this together. You analyze together. You think through the together. Go and write up and send it out. And then you send and say, you want to go and improve. So I found mentors who walk with you. That is very important. And the other thing, although I say she is lonely, but an team around you is very important. Like having you as if it's a God has you or having another doing this sort of thing. That's to support you, and also people to look up to if you call it publisher, then you also, how have you done that? And so I remember telling my other colleagues, Stephen and Ismail, who also finished PhD in Ethiopia, and they were publishing papers and I was saying, I'm going to publish more papers than you. But that sort of thing because some of my analysis I used Ismail's because I done type of work. So that is really helpful. I'll stop here and then maybe that
I think from everything Simon is saying, we see that mentorship comes in key. And you mentors from nowhere, you have with people, interact with people, just exactly what we're doing here. So let's not see coming here as a big sacrifice. I'll talk about it. before I come here. So, okay.
Great.
The idea that for me, the time I was going to that MSc, I was so clinical. I know when we were doing our research, you had work because you're looking at it as academic and it's something to do to conclude on a word. So I did really enjoy that research experience. And then when I went to London school, I got my mind open. Like I was pulled up from a limbo. So I started doing the research experience. And so London school taught me to use research to do things. Research to use research to and I started my problems. Where's the problem? What can I do? What can I solve? So that has changed my practice.
That's great. And I think you got a grant.
Beginners, those who have never had a grant in their names before, it's always earlier. So people are like it. Back to what Simon was saying about mentoring and everything, I had colleagues who knew and they reached out to me. And then before like who has gone for and because if I'm going to succeed in that grant application, I needed to talk to someone who has received grants before and won awards before. So I had someone who came through. But basically, the grant for early beginners, you can look up on the website. I think this is what to even open for next year. So that's how I got the grant. And I'm going to be looking at eye diseases, the prevalence of secondary impairment in Karamoja. One of the main things I think that made me think about that is that I had a problem at hand, a new problem in Karamoja, and not just doing clinical work. With all the non-London school and my important prospect in research, I now start looking at what we do in children, school children, what they're talking about. So you get to look at the site. And so I was making my protocol. It flowed. It wasn't something that I was fighting about or it's something that I want to work in. It's a lot about just research. You know how you get aware research policymakers. So that's how I see myself. I'm also
building on that, how do you go probably in the name of motivation? So, in a sense, being a clinician is actually very difficult for research clinical work. Then I had to train for it. Just okay, I feel that is a very powerful thing. And all those things later. And with the research. And so when I went to school and I came back after about a lot, I came back from suddenly my eyes were see that my nose was too few very general. That made me think an operation. Why? What am I referring to coming? And that led to lots of improvement, getting infrastructure, human restraint. So that improved and then also looking back at quality with biology. And up to now I still read when I think I'm going to be research. Before I could just do guess IELTS and that. But now I think about putting more. That where I'm from, it came from all of this. I'm not afraid of looking at it out. And of sharing Ambrose, I
Players, sharp of us. Are there any questions? Maybe how free to ask the panel.
I'll allow only 3 questions. 3 questions.
Thank you very much for very useful to ask the young. My question is, yes, I talked to Professor. Yes, all of them finished or finished, and if so, on top of the motivation, what are the enablers to make them, also what are the disablers which will make them not to succeed?
All students completed. Some have taken longer than others. Some break, some have made. And what I think I would observe is that I see a lot of people from different African countries, actually, and some of them are able to, like Simon was, to step back from their clinical duties. Often doing what was doing their project in their own hospital, their own institutions work. And it's a very difficult environment for the colleagues to mentorship from persons mind. So this person is having a case. And the biggest challenge is in that environment, and the hospital, the university, doesn't give them the time space to really do the issue well. And that is how they perhaps something made and perhaps less do it really. That would be my biggest observation in terms of I mean, it's just going back to science point, it's the environment. The environment is very important, and yeah, you really want to so I know the young people, certain people, SNL, these people we've talked about, I think people in local institutions. So and it's kind of I think it needs to be really good networking. We're learning from each other, and we can share skills and capacity. So those are
Thank you very much for a really enlightening discussion. My question was, I think, both Dr. Roma and Professor Matthew. Does, for someone who is thinking about going to a PhD, how does one prepare? Really, beyond just the that topic, what else? How does one go there? Thank you.
So, one of the things, like in our situation, is you need to also look at other things around you. In the environment, there is what support you will get your faculty, for example, how you say, but also your family support. It's very important, and it's good that it's aligned. So, preparing for that is important, because you might be your patient in Uganda, you might be away for certain times, or if it's in the field, you might also be away for certain times. So that's important that you have that support, because it comes into, you don't want to be PhD and those other things. Also, it can happen. So that is key. That's what I say. I want to add.
I think I can touch on most of the things. I think certainly training and getting yourself to start an application. I think you get additional training, like the classes is a useful thing. Really help. Yeah, and then trying to identify the right super mentor that's willing to take you on. It's got the right course, funding is very tough. It's much tougher than it used to be.
Thank you, Simon. Now, beside all the things you did, for you doing it mathematically, the intention of what you want to do is in your mind. People go for different reasons. Yes, promotion. When you make the promotion before you do the vision, you might decide to drop the vision. Yeah. So others, and the times the purpose of the was that you want to get that qualification which teaches you so that you can be an independent researcher. Yeah, so you can be able to do the research. So that is the intention. So the purpose why don't we finish this way? Otherwise you drop on the way. Thank you.
Thank you for the session. My name is May about research and how it connects to the PhD. I realize that at a certain stage in your career, you grant certain grants. You can't continue to bigger grants without it. You need to be R2, R3 researchers, and that you become an independent researcher. The people you have supervised to get to that level, what is the time or how is the pathway after you have gained your PhD to become a researcher and being able to actually to have that research?
I would say it's 5 to 10 years. I think it just gives research, or most people don't do research. I said that I've been in this game for a long time. I would dream of doing, I don't have to see how the legal team and direction, but I think it's unique. You need to have decision training, which complement the PhD. But it also needs to take you further. It needs to be more responsibility, leadership for a project, and really grasp that. My station really post-PhD between 5 and 10 years. Also really direct. It's a journey.
It is, it's generally understood that you don't have to maybe your research skills or expertise. So it's understood, and no much different. Traditionally, in many parts in Africa, not really centralization. The PhD is actually the basis of a research career. So it's understood that's how it should be. As I've gives a comment, I will tip for the president of the society to come and give a token of appreciation of him on speaker who came on the way from the global north.
Thank you very much for this insightful discussion about all these opportunities. My concern is you mentioned in your journeys some funding, some opportunities, some networks that you've actually been lucky to be part of. And I want to know whether what are plans to expect perhaps a bigger proportion of the interested to some of these networks that maybe they can be assisted to pursue some of these incredible journeys. Thank you.
So, let us mention something very, very important. She said coming to this meeting is not a waste of time. I can tell you how many PhDs have got supervisors from just attending the conference, you know. So the opportunities will come, but you have to be deliberate about them, you know. Go out there, network and meet people. Go for conferences. You know, I always encourage my residents that go for, when they go to co-exam, I debrief them and say, when you go, I don't want to find you speaking to another resident from MAST. I should find you speaking to, you know, someone from Nairobi or whatever. But networking is very, very, and networks grow. So, like, if I have access to his work, so he was the same need, like he sent me to learn how to use correctly, you know, or sent me to Bristol to learn farm localities. So I have access to his networks. I'm glad to see my community has access to my networks, you know, so that's how it works, and it goes on. But you have to be really look out for that.
There are also the opportunities that the requires research methods. So I think there are some things which are really along the line, which will help to
Thank you. Just when I was in the scholarship that I was Commonwealth, I think that we don't that the scholarships are very common. The scholarship is there, but it's common as well, but you also to be guided during the application process so that the of people who are applying and see that mentorship comes. So you see someone who has gone, get close to them and ask them how they did it. Thank you very much. That is the thing that this
So much we know you traveled, so here is a wonderful farm.
Yes, that bank comes with very many things. It has blessings, it has strength, and future, it is very power. There is a team that missed out a cup of tea when it was raining. It is still cold outside, but the tea is ready. You can step out, you service yourself. The rest of those who are comfortable shall stay here. The ones who will go outside, the moment you feel comfortable, please join us. First, we are going to continue with the presentations. Now, I am going to be very strict. You know, I was a bit lenient, I was fearing you have to go and give me PhDs then. I haven't gotten one. But ones who are coming, if you don't have a PhD, I'll be strict on you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let me first make a consultation from the people who gave me the money. As we prepare to receive the next presenter, who traveled all the way across borders, he's from Kigali, and he's come to tell us, to share with us a journey on how we can start another medical school in Karamoja. So as he's coming, I have two special announcements. One of it is women leaders in eye health. If I misaligned the words, they know themselves. The women, leadership, eye health. After the sessions of today, you won't stay behind. You have a side meeting. It seems you have something more to discuss. Women, leadership, eye health. That group, you didn't stay behind. Next, we are going to recognize people who came here. We shall recognize everyone. We shall also recognize the senior ophthalmologists who joined us and those online community. We recognize you, much as you are having a bit of glitches, but we are sorting out everything. We pray that in future we can meet physically again. With us today, we have people, representatives from Child Division. They are strategic partners, they are supporting us. They are represented by Juliet Manje, and work to people. So those want to work with PhD, you know they could be having some money for PhD. Thank you for blessing us, for being with us. We continue to enjoy the day with you. Yes, we are waiting. Ready? Okay. So I think he's warming up himself. In the meantime, I don't know what to tell you. What can I tell you?
An ophthalmologist from Rwanda, trained and masked. So I should say I'm back home. But again, very humbled and before my mentors, senior colleagues, young colleagues. A human resource training setting. 10 years ago, when I came to Uganda to train as an ophthalmologist, the job was a so I had gotten 4 admissions to ophthalmology, but they failed because they couldn't get sponsorship and there were no training institutions for ophthalmologists. I was training myself as mask, and that's how the journey started. But I must say, I left here with trauma of this to do what you want to do. I vote to make sure that the young generation back home should not go. So what I'm going to add is one of my senior mentors. I shared the idea what you resistance whatever in a sense that you rely on others. And also since it was there, I thought it was going to move. Anyway, the general study, a 4-year program, was initiated at the University of Uganda to be taught as one public institution in Uganda, which is the university that is mandated to pay all the workforce in the country. So, this program, which is yeah, so it's a 4-year program with the 15 modules, which one has to complete with the package of 103 courses. It's a full time with 650 credits. We need to understand that China is not unique. Its own setting from other sub-Saharan countries. The shortage of office is very than 30 in the 13.4 million, whose life expectancy have been lives 30 years ago. The genocide expectancy for an average family was 4 years. It is now 69 years. So of course this comes with it. Many other things. So the government has set an ambitious reform of quadrupling health workforce within 2 years. So this somehow facilitated the term that was appreciated by us. This program is to train competent ophthalmologists that should serve on the job. Before 2018, actually there's nothing but trades in the country. So by then have to train in the region and the beyond. This was a hard cost. Someone who still went to trade because they would be needed there. And also for admissions. You need to know that most of these programs are first serve the national interest. Then what remains is for national students. So 28 there was established Uganda International Ophthalmology Bureau that is a private institution. It has somehow one of the problems with that was increase in number of offices in the country has come due to the existence of free. It's costly and the quality of accessibility of course. So it is then that the journey of starting the program within national mainstream. If you ophthalmologist was up at the National University of Uganda, so there was consultation you see within our region, it's a cocktail of programs. Some others are their institutions and their institutions. I remember consulting the professors, he told me it doesn't matter the car as long as it wants. The kind of modules you want to train, then it is a tool that is going to answer, and that's exactly what you did. So, we benchmarked on WEXA, ICO, some of these are then we with the one that suits our own field. Guess what? The national traditional university hospitals we have, because of lack of training of ophthalmology, if it's internally they are well involved. But you go to ophthalmology, by accident, if you have a foreign body, you may even not have a topical anesthesia to put in your eyes to know the foreign body. So that's how ill-equipped the so-called traditional university hospitals are. So they need to work. Actually, there are two heights. This is covered and one these two serve 60% of eye services. We establish partnership with them, use, and that's how went on to be accreditation. It's a lengthy process. I'm telling you too fast about it. So, the University of Uganda is a graduate. So, School of Medicine, where the program is under a College of Medicine and Sciences. So, the program approved each level, that is school, curriculum committee, college, senate, eventually it was sent to higher education council, which approves and approves the program. Of course, following the national education framework. So at this level, there are so many players. At the college and the higher education council, there was some exercise. So we're through that. Generally, this is for students to come to where in 24, that is the program was. So we moved and started the process of admissions. In the draft, so many applicants, we had 70 applicants, and the program only had capacity to train for reasons. So we used what we put to project potential candidates. They had to see and oral interviews. We came up with the 4 reasons. So the first interview was in April. End of year exams in April 2025. We also meeting the second. So the first of which we passed for. We now have residents in two portions altogether. So, as I told you, these residents are based at which is for some of the university, which is within so we have less, I mean, we don't have many compared to the other centers I mentioned. So this is where we have first who go through basic clinical science to various modules. So after that, they are set these rooms. A place like hospital, they got surgical room manually for 15,000, 13, that's about 800. So their surgical room is not, and the projects. So this is just taking in photos, summarizes what we do. Sounds nice. On the seat and feel how hard it goes. Once you get residents report, everyone because people, I take this opportunity to appreciate it. I realize how we made sweat. It's a lot of work when you're not facilitated. So, and when I say equipment to current education, some of training teachers, the model is completely different. About mentor trainers, after things like facilitators like aspirators, dry labs, which we never have. So for us, real patients, which I find now quite difficult. So funding is training from different things. It is serious logistical. A few milestones have been achieved. When the program started, actually it somehow enhanced what the community has as a strategy of quadrupling its workforce, but also has initiated actually the need for a national, which like a central hub where advanced services are ready. But to do this, you need to have actually organized subspecialty setting. So to do this, you have also have a huge pool of general ophthalmologists. This is the process backed on. The priority in the ophthalmology glaucoma for sectors. So the target is to make sure that by year 2030 have produced ophthalmologists. Prayers, attention. So here we have actually surgeon based on automatic. So there is already development of curriculum and it is at its final stages. So that in April 2020, Joseph, who are now based at Chicago, doing some of the basically they are being to we were working with the school in France. It is also started in the month of September 2026. We have our office now training glaucoma plastic here. So when this return, we hope to government support so that these that have come back are supported to initiate these other subspecialty departments. This is answer to the question my senior me, are you capable to train? Honestly speaking, if I have now, if I test this, definitely saying yes. So the Bible program has been mainly working on resources within the country, where one of the society has huge. These come from different settings in the country, and they are all some in private, some in hospital, but they are giving us and they willingly support the program. Our first cohort is finishing the year, completing the next year, and of course we've injected people with the international, many from France, UK, USA, India, Nigeria, who can rotational basis. So they can support in areas where we have not done. In a nutshell, I would say training, it is the only way. If we compare the training and the family, it is the way the family has to. We are not training like a family of children. So the way to move on is to increase the number of training and in our setting behavior, particularly where I come from, it is not this business. You've got to deliver, stand in and sit up. And this is what we've done for the last how many years, that we now have an established program in the country. And I hope if you run with traumatized some of us, is it going to be possible? Yes, it has been possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our presenter, Dr. Egi, for Dr. Simon. Is the leader of the session? Yes.
I have questions, comments.
We have other questions. I was now I'm seeing. So if you have a question for me, you even get me later. If you have sponsorship for
Thank you for sharing with us. Collaboration between the different settings I know what I wanted to make facility for training. We also have with the to train, but I say one thing for the students to us is that we have to work
say what say at why they are seeking for what we've done much as they are best they are getting academic round. So they are so not a matter of sending a memo and has to follow the rest. So this is the memo God, I think, responsibility as right now is what to do that also participate. So that's so. There's something we don't want to talk about, but directly informs us. Imagine you go a target of operating police and they are bringing you a young who is going to well. What Uganda has done is to there is a budget for these institutions on top of what we does. There is a top based on the work.
So, Master.
Okay. My name is Dr. He has mentioned all the fellowships of this time to have, and they are new. Yeah? So my question is, what would it take to have fellowships here in Uganda? What is it mean? What are we like? We don't have seen such situations.
I don't know if that's yes. Maybe she should just say that what it takes for a fellowship program. I know, and maybe also because I wrote this down, whether that has been applied for fellowship accreditation. And I also institutions like Nengo, you've applied for accreditation status, so they're doing it's a matter time really. Because you need just a core mass trainers, and if you have those and the more and more, the days of people to go to India or that to do a fellowship are really one. You can comment on what you think it takes. Since speaking, it is a suicide move to start a fellowship. We don't have one. Clearly, two is to have training. So after we discussed about it, they on the fellowship. So what remains is really notice. Okay, this is a general notice. Who is training? So it has to be a hospital place. So and for the process like for yes, very expensive. So as a nation, you need to strategize and see where it is that we want this budget. So and that's where we are listening for. There are those two hospitals. I mean, if somebody is needing services, you know where to find. And the same applies for pediatric and other subspecialties. In a nutshell, I can say you need a 3-year course grant. We've been lucky, we got funds from one of our donors who is facilitating us for the next 8 years to quadruple us. So
what we've done to maximize this opportunity, upload training, such that these people were hiring from abroad. At this period of time, they should have set up in these run by ourselves. There has to be a robust plan. And of course, you need to plan together. If an institution stands alone, you are going to be competing for cases and it's going to be the correct operation. Then about Kuwait's application, we applied. So Dr. Michael with the education committee, I think, yes. But they haven't
I'm aware that also institutions and hospitals which have applied to do training in the region. So it's because it shows that in the time we have this one. Any other questions?
Thank you. Is two more?
Yes. Short. So one, you trained the curriculum, and now you're doing a full curriculum. Could you tell us what is the rationale for that? Because I know there are more and more curriculum. Then I noticed that the is that formative act or it is the right data?
Thank you so much. Maybe the last one. Maybe it was just 5%. So it wasn't so I'm glad that it happened that because one is the gender sensitive and when it turned out like that. So two, you asked me. So 3 years, frankly speaking, it is a marathon. Those that must know it is. But each university program, you find that its own emphasis. At ours, there was cutting modules like and epidemiology. That one is mandatory to program. Then the principles of medical education. It is imposed. So we are not training teachers or something, but they say this will appear. Now, when you read our national education framework, how they weigh credits, and you split these competencies into modules that facilitate to achieve these competencies. You can't achieve these. Now, actually, it was over 5 years. When you went for 5 years, you can't award just maths. There should be maths and something which you could. So we split and became 4. With the series of training in 3 years, it has got its own advantage. If you are or you want to program right? You want to make money, I'll definitely go to and finish. But in terms of implementation,
Thank you very much. That's a big invitation. Very brief. When I was active
the question of 14 versus years came up. We had one problem, the case was years, but the rest of us in the universities were staff 3 years. One of the issues that was that if you make it 4 years, and the other masters are 3 years, how do you especially at that time, it was not very popular. The other one was to view the sponsor eye care, because ophthalmology is very expensive for them. These sponsors was hard enough. I was trying to say, I visit more people, so we kind of started a country, but now that we have again, so I think we have to face it one of these days. But you have to have with the issues and which we are doing, because it just steps with technology, then it's getting out of yes. Again.
Thank you, Professor. There is a solution. When we incorporate YouTube, we should promote 2 years. In the AI, we should think of 1 year. We started day and night, we said about the field. And we have had the jobs in one. Then the need for the ophthalmologists. Uganda, take us. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, the last presented so well. We might give us it is for you to handle. Mr. G. Uganda wants to give you every gifts. Think about us. So I will ask the President to come and handle this to Speaker who is encouraging us to start the medical school. Thank you very much. Now, the next stages of presentations are in place. They are brief. And they are the people we always look up to. The ophthalmologist is making to facilitate our work. The money, once we start to get money. So we are going to hold the money. We have people who sponsor us. The man who runs the machine now starts running logos. So we get to know them. Then who sponsor this event. Without them, it was good to come to us. The work is a little bit easier. So we want to give them the mic to come inspire us. Maybe they can tell us how to do them. Our call is order. We have our sponsor, Move Pharmacy, Pharmaceuticals. We have another partner strategic who is going to talk to us about prudential, but I want them to just teach us how to make money. I request a representative from SIMA, Mrs. Yukwata, if you are around, you can tell your talk, 5 minutes, teach us money. I will have a presentation on child division. They have a presentation for us. Then prudential, we think within the next 20 minutes we should be done with this session. Then we shall have a talk from the Professor President. Then after that we start our AGM. We vote we finish that. One. mostly what we say about is the finance. Finance will come in and oppose. Yes. So let me, we have a presentation, I have them. If you have to give a talk for the multiple, one people. So maybe we first, if you want to go for workshops where there is money, there is a stand. And stretch. But when you don't know that, listen, you are should we stand stretch?
I think so.
So we can stand and stretch. Yes. Yes, so now that is how we are going to make sure standing straight. You don't put the legs together like ladies. Forget those spaces. So we are going to go down, 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 down. Can you touch your ankle down? If you reach there, well, let's go the other side. Ankle. You say yes. So MU Pharma for legs and then 6. This is the only box where there is no music background. If you not for heat, you must talk to your neighbor.
Afternoon. We are located at Overall House in Bala. Importation and sunrises equipment. As a farmer, we deal ophthalmology products and from Saudi Arabia. So, one main product from India. Yes, so here in particular, we shall have a short conversation about him from our which products we brought for you guys, and how we pushed us, how we pushed you, so all that stuff. As we were waiting for the staff to load, I think you've passed through our table, and we have a big range of products there, and mainly with Ophthalmology. So the importation we do, it's actually a category of products. We anti-inflammatory, we have anti-allergies, we have anti-glaucoma, and they are all good products. I think if you've actually tested some of these products and you
Yeah. We want to thank the large. We want to thank the President, Dr. Elima, the opportunity he gave to us. We got to know about this conference. Actually, we used to hear about them taking place. The one that is in India, we heard about it, but we are not well connected with the OT. Yes. So Dr. Elima gave us a platform, and we said, sure, we have to use this platform. We got the information, it was around September, that there is a conference going to take place in Barara. When the CEO was within the country, we said, surely, we have to attend, and we really have to do something to make sure that we be part of this. And yes. So within that time, it was a short notice, but really we had to do something to support you because you pushed us just from the start. So we also had to do something to make sure we get to know each other and stuff. So I'm going to be very fast the presentation. I'm Mandaranga, as I told you, and medical representative from then Emi Farmer. We are at Bombo Road, Emuka House. If you know that place, if you are as in your head into one area, there is Show House. Then the next building, that is Emuka House. We are just right there. Emi Farmer was established in 2017 as an importer and distributor of pharmaceuticals in Uganda. We aspire to become the importer and distributor, delivering the highest quality of services. We represent several reputed pharmaceutical manufacturers from the Middle East, Asia, and Africa. We offer a wide variety of pharmaceutical products. We actually also own a wholesale pharmacy on Wilson Street, and we just started that messages for present this year. So then we employ pharmaceutical initiatives and other categories of professional. So our company varies integrity and honesty, innovation, creativity, commitment to quality, open-minded, and customer satisfaction, excellency, professional and ethical conduct. Yes, about our products is the main sector. As I told you, we do importing from Saudi Arabia, so all these products are Saudi Arabian made, and what we're looking at. What we're looking at is to make sure the patient benefits from these products. So as we have categorized them, we deal with anti-infective, anti-allergies, anti-inflammatories, glaucoma, and others. So we shall just go through the products because you see these products and you hear about them. So it is one of our selling products, and that is another combination of comorbid and from ethanol. And I think many of people under this roof have used Floca. So with me, that is Zoramo. It's a combination glaucoma drug, having the zoramide and timolol. Why we're choosing Zoramo is because of its maximum control from start, reduce and delay glaucoma progress, improving on ID, improving ocular blood flow, convenience, and tolerability. Then we have Brimo. Brimo is our brand of Brimo titrate. We are looking at maximum IOP lowering, maximum IOP control. control maximum ocular blood flow, and then it has an additional advantage of protection and cost effectiveness, efficacy, plus patient adherence. Then we have High Fresh. High Fresh is an artificial tear. It has sodium hyaluronate. It offers superior aqueous tear film stability and retention than the sodium hyaluronate 0.1%. Then it provides fast efficiency and high retention than the so then we have Arox. Arox is actually a newly registered brand of Moxifloxacin. It has a very high penetration with raised tissue and aqueous concentrations, potential and reactive activity, broad spectrum improvement efficacy against resistant agents, and faster healing post cancer and convenient operative. More with our effect, we have azithromycin and dexamethasone, and then dexaprox, that is dexamethasone. So they also have an advantage of HPMC in them. Then more our ranges, we have Zora, and then Opticrane, that is Prednisone, then Latano, that is Latano Prost. We have newly registered product stock. We here have High Fresh Care, that is sodium hyaluronate 0.5%. It is going to be a free brand. And Jan, we are going to be having the first stock. And then now we have Chroma, Orchestra, and Olopat. Olopat it is actually ADA table, and anytime we are having groups. Yes. We have regards from Amy Farmer, CEO of Mahmoud, and managing director, Dr. Mohammed. They really love you, and that's why they had to do all their extra that we be part of this ceremony. At Amy Farmer, they assure the society that we shall assure the part of you. INT, Dr. Elima gave us an opportunity. Surely we shall be here. This is the start, and we shall be with you. We are here to provide quality product brands and fancy affordability. Yes, I know you use these products, but very many people have been paying of the prices. But we actually with price, I think we don't have to be paid. We should not worry. From now onwards, we have assurance from the manufacturing company. So they are going to support us. We are going to make sure that our patients benefit from products. We don't reduction in. Yeah. So much for time.
Thank you so much. First of all, you are in time. That's one day. Thank you. I have someone for Siva. Siva. Siva is not big. We have charity vision. Siva. If you can save us another minute, that will be okay.
Yeah, so as the but it's just basically an introductory session and what we do and our objectives, especially in the I give it to Shani. I was setting up, we can just say something about our foundation. We are a whole organization and we are based in the United States, but in Africa we work in 4 countries, that's Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, and as a foundation in 1978 in Nepal, and we founders started a small campaign, which was then after they were able to eradicate small, they asked themselves what can we do. Also eradicate one of the areas they identified was iron. So they support organization. They started that led to a lot of the growth of some of the most renowned care centers in Nepal. So since then, was around 5 years ago, we're still growing strong. We're in 45 countries around the world. It's mostly in all 3 countries in the world. And looking at the presentation. So that's a Cyber Foundation, and we're glad to be here. Let me just use my own. Thank you, team. That's continue. Just continue. That's how SAVA was formed. SAVA is we are a student organization. So some of our values we also have a service, we have this activity, also is all our fun around that. So I mentioned in Africa, we work with local organizations and institutions, and I mentioned 4 countries that we work in, that is Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, and Malawi. And should be coming up anytime now. So one of the strategic drivers or the areas we really try and focus in as SEMA Foundation is eye care for children, training and job creation, and then primary eye care and vision centers, and also technology to increase our efficiency and effectiveness. So everything we try and do, every project we try and do, we try and align it with those different strategic goals. So in the region, we also do have some objectives, and we want to try and explore extending eye services for the primary health care level, and also we try and involve the Ministry of Health and the hospital in especially sustainable planning, because we all know that donor has a timeline. So we want to sure that after the programs or the activities of the projects we do with our partners in the ministry and the hospital leadership, take up these projects and continue running with them. The other thing we do is we try to promote leadership in eye health, and community-based action. So you know that we don't want to organizations or the CEOs and NGOs to form grassroots and lobby-led organizations that will to sustain eye health system after our donations or project funding are completed. Then we also try the expansion of child eye health services. As I mentioned, one of our drivers is child eye health, and we ensure that every region we go, ensure that we support the child services. Then lastly, we try to expand the capacity of eye health professionals and key stakeholders. And that over the partnerships, I think we have a big partnership from Uganda as the biggest base of our partnerships. We have Lila Referral Hospital, where we focus on the primary eye care and technology access. Then we also have Benedict Eye Hospital, where we do it's our child tertiary facility where we do eye care for children. Then we have Mengo Hospital, it's a recently onboarded partner. So we also do child eye care there as well. Then we have Dr. Anuga Eye Hospital. This is our first vision center that we have been supported to start in Uganda, and I think it's also the whole of Africa, so we're really proud of that. And then the Community Holistic Eye Care Labo is a CBO that is based in Kampala, and which is doing primary eye care. Then we have recently onboarded is the Uganda Eye Hospital, where we have technology access. So our partnership model, one, it's a very simple model, like we try and keep it simple so that we can incorporate most of all everyone who we feel we are partnering with. So we listen and we assess and identify needs in reputable organizations and institutions. Some of you will notice that I really do ask a lot of questions and sit with a lot of people, just trying to listen and assess the needs in those organizations or those institutions. Then we fundraise and provide grants to access that will address those gaps. Then we also harness a lot of responsibilities. As the implementation is ongoing, we do ask ourselves, what are we learning from this? And some of those lessons are what we try and even share and disseminate to other partners, so that we see that if this lesson is working, why can't we also replicate it in other regions? Then we do a lot of collaborations with larger consortiums and communities. Our silver partnership, we also have an opportunity to be out there globally and also get known and get heard by other eye care practitioners and networks. Then we do have a quite large network of 150 hospitals and clinics around the world. Then I'm nearing the end of my presentation, so the opportunities to collaborate with us. We always have an annual call for ideas. As soon as it's out, we are possibly in December, that's when we're going to have the next call for ideas. This one will focus on primary eye care, and we urge that if you feel you have an idea that is worth trying to implement, it's usually not so much money, but at least it's a starting point. So what to to sending your application, we do have a very rigorous evaluation process, and if you get successful, then you get a grant. Lida was one of the beneficiaries of last year, so it's very possible to get these grants. And then women leadership in IHELP, that's also another opportunity. If you have to collaborate, I'll talk more about it in my next slide. And one of the ways to partner with us, let's talk, let's engage. Dr. Aruga said here in one of his presentations that, let's talk. Like for example, how we got to partner with Dr. Aruga, I just had his name in Burundi, and I came and I was able to identify him and we talked more. So let's talk, let's engage, let's get to know each other, and Then for the women leadership in IHELP, this is an initiative by 3 organizations, that is Obese Women in Ophthalmology and Several Foundation. It was actually founded because we wanted to pioneer collaborative initiative planning to uplift women in every level of the ophthalmic space. And through this transformative leadership and mentorship, we hope that we will strengthen these global networks that women are able to form, and then we help break down some of these barriers that women, that advancing women, and promoting inclusive eye health for access for all. So let's also, the women in the house, first and foremost, I'd like to recognize Dr. Mali. She's one of the women who is currently breaking those barriers. One of the things that women we struggle with is going for maternity and coming back to work, and you can see she's jumping that barrier very well. So let's all clap for her and acknowledge that she's actually doing a very good job in both sectors, both as an ophthalmologist and as a woman. So that's why women in IHELP is here, so that we can identify some of those barriers and uplift people like Dr. Mali to talk about this, and so that the next woman who's going to be on maternity or doing something else that is a barrier, they're going to be able to get the knowledge and share exchange their ideas with people like Dr. Mali. So one of the tools we use in women leadership IHELP, during the conferences, we usually have coffee hours at either in the morning or in the afternoon sessions, and we call women in one room so they're able to hear some of these barriers and how other women are overcoming them. So we create that space for women to talk. We also have our local upcoming circle, Women in Uganda, Women in IHELP in Uganda circle that is coming up. I hope you can all join us. It's led by Dr. Rebecca. Please join us and let's talk, let's sit down, let's be able to network and help address some of those barriers. So thank you so much for that opportunity.
Thank you so much, Silver Foundation. Announcement.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nalua Juliet. I'm honored to be here today, representing Charity Vision International in Uganda. Charity Vision, we are located in Kansanga, along Gaba Road, just near Kampala International University. I've just come to share with you what we do in the organization and get to know us better. Let me begin by sharing detail about the organization. Charity Vision started in 1987 in the USA, in Utah, and we have managed to extend to different countries, and those are 26 around the globe. In Africa, we are in 5 countries, and these include Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Sierra Leone, and Somalia. What we do at Charity Vision, we are restoring hope through sight. And we have managed to do that through partnerships with hospitals, clinics, and eye specialists. We have been having many successes, and these include the surgeries which have been done by the ophthalmologists through the partnerships we create. We have donated glasses. We have the Sight Buddies program, and this is basically the school screenings, and this is running in areas of Namisipa, Valley region. I'll take a moment to praise our Charity Vision Cataract Kit. The Cataract Kit is our prize to you, and we are giving this to our ophthalmologists through the partnership which we create. The Cataract Kit has been carefully organized with expertise to meet the international standards so that it is safe, reliable, and you can use it with ease. Therefore, that is why we are importing more through the help of the Ophthalmology Society, and that's why we make sure that the cataract kit, the Charity Vision Cataract Kit, is always available for our ophthalmologists. In that regard, I want to request our ophthalmologists to please offer us a guidance during the importation processes. We really need your help. We understand that at times the importation processes can be hard, complicated, but when we know that you are on our side, guiding us and offering us hope, move far. Another thing which I want to request the ophthalmologists is the reports which you give to us. We really need these reports since they help us to plan ahead. They help us to know the effectiveness of the resources which we have given, and also to share that success stories to our donors so that they can give us more. I understand that in this Congress, there are many ophthalmologists who are not yet Charity Vision partners, and we are really welcoming you. We are working directly with the Ophthalmology Society, and we have the capacity to help you as well. We are welcoming you to our network. The Ophthalmology Society has enough cataract consumables through us, through the partnership which we create, and you can access them and have a use of them. ophthalmologists for the partnerships which you give to us. Because Charity Vision, we are not having a hospital, we are not having a clinic, but we base on your expertise and the skills to reach out to the patients and all the local communities. I want to thank the doctors for the good work you have done so far. I've seen amazing results where hundreds of patients have been screened, glasses have been donated, cataract surgeries have been done, and these are not just numbers. There are mothers, there are fathers who have seen their children again, there are farmers who have gone back to their work. There are some students who have gained their sight back to school, and that's the reason why we are working together. That's the impact we are looking for. It has been great. It has been a great opportunity, and we want to thank the Ophthalmology Society for giving us the opportunity to get to know you better, and you also get to know us. And we promise you, we are here to uplift the work of the ophthalmologists, and we want to look up to the hospitals. We still need more hospitals, we still need more eye clinics to work with. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charity Vision. Next we have Prudential, and this will be our last partner to talk to us for the day. Then we shall welcome a speech from the COEXA president. Can be preparing 5 minutes.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all well. It says that we're all born beautiful, but as you grow old, things keep changing. So at this juncture, I kindly request everyone to turn to your neighbor and tell them you must have been a beautiful baby.
You are a beautiful baby.
Tell her you must have been a beautiful baby.
My favorite even now.
We all need to save money. We all need to grow money, and we all need to protect it. So, financial independence shouldn't be a dream. It should be a priority for yourself. We talk about financial independence, we talk about investment. As you work, you need to have an investment. We talk about emergency fund. In case something happened to you today, where do you run to? Do you call your mother in the village? Do you call your neighbor? Or you talk to your landlord? So you should have an emergency fund. We talk about debt management. Most of us get a lot of stress. We get pressure. We get depression simply because of debt.
So with Prudential, we share with you about how good you can manage your debt. We talk about protection, and we talk about health care. Research says that most of the medical personnel don't have medical insurance. Some of you already paid on the insurance of your employers. Recently, I was on social media, and there was this doctor. They were mobilizing money for him to go to India for an operation. The doctor who had been in service for over 30 years and did not have money to take care of his medical bills. It's why we're here to share with you maybe that you need to have financial discipline. With that financial discipline, you will be free, you will have peace. This is why Prudential has come to share with you more about your financial needs. We talk about financial independence, we talk about the need to pay yourself first. Many of you have employees. Many of you have employees and you pay them. Many of you have employees and you pay them, but you don't pay yourself. So that it's always important for this 5% to 10% of your income and to save for the future. If you make it to 15 or more, it will be very important. It's important to have a fund to put aside and pay yourself. There is need to spend on only the needs, not the wants. With insurance, you need to save small and you need to make small changes and make big money. Spending is a habit, so is saving. What if you could make small changes in your spending habits and start saving? Look at only $10 per day. What difference will it make to your life? That will make $300 per month, and wow, to be a good plan after many years. Look at this gentleman who takes only 3 bottles called wine or beer a day. That is 3,000 a day. And in 5 years, this guy has drunk 27 millions. In 15 years, none of us have drunk more than 15 years. So in 15 years, you have drunk 81 millions. Imagine if you put this money in the saving fund. Just imagine, this guy who has spent 15 years drinking, he gets a misfortune, he calls a brother for assistance. This is why we're here to share with you about financial literacy. Some of you think you have a lot of time. You keep procrastinating, you keep postponing, and procrastination is an enemy to saving. I had a friend who got married and they got two beautiful daughters. I shared with them about the saving plan. They thought they had a lot of time because they were building a mansion for them to live in. But a few months after my engagement, the wife called me and said, "You know what, Amos? I think we need to have a plan because our daughters are growing." So they called me to their office, him and the wife. So when we had an engagement, we made an analysis of how good it would be to plan for their future life, to plan for their education. But the husband told me, "This plan is good. Let me sign the forms, but we shall begin on it next year in January." So, as an advisor, we did the paperwork, she filled the forms, the husband signed, and I was waiting for January. 31st December, the wife called me, and the storm wasn't good. We were going to the village to finish up with our parents, and we got an accident. The kids survived, I survived,
but our husband did not survive. I kept quiet, it's like it was the only quiet. I asked myself, what is next? I wished I had forced him to sign, but in our authority we don't force clients. This person had passed on when he had finished signing the paperwork, but had not paid the first premium. That meant that he would not be on cover. My friends, my brothers and sisters, as you hear, as you're fighting hard to make money, you should fight hard to protect it. You should fight hard to make sure that your loved ones will enjoy it. You should fight hard that people that you work for are not dependents to your in-laws. You should fight hard to make sure that the people that you're working for are not burdens to your friends. Due to time, I'll end there. In case of anything, my friend James is there. We're going to be going through to share with you the need to have life insurance. That has been all from me, Professional Uganda Limited, 7 years hours. Thank you, Professional Uganda. Another round of applause to all the presenters. We are almost finishing. Prudential, remember, if the money is not enough, put in Prudential, first eat it. Yes, now we are going to welcome our COEXA President, His Excellency Simon Awuga. After his speech, we shall have in-house business. So this is going to be the last biggest speech. You better listen.
Thank you, MC, and all colleagues, mentors, professors, colleagues. Thank you. I want to thank you first of all for really coming in large numbers to this meeting. This is a very, very good gesture, and it gives a lot of confidence for the college and also the leaders here in Uganda. I congratulate Dr. Elima and your team for putting up a very wonderful congress. I think you have really raised the bar. Colleagues, you can agree that this is much, much different than the congresses we have been to as also. And you set the bar high, and the challenge is up for the next leadership to make sure it's even much, much stronger. So thank you very much. And I also want to thank you, colleagues, for supporting my candidature. I know I've thanked you on the online, but I have an opportunity to thank you again. Thank you very much for really, really galvanizing behind me and my candidacy. This happens to be my first national congress to attend as a COEXA president. and I'm really delighted that it is in Uganda. So that's also a wonderful thing. I know the Kenyan meeting is at the end of November, but I'm really grateful. I was in Nairobi recently, and I had an interview with the media house on the agenda we have as a college. And one of the things I mentioned is I really want to focus on mobilizing members. I run on a theme of a college that serves all her members. But that can only happen when members are engaged with the college through their national societies. And so again, that's why I was very happy to see how really people turned up to this meeting. And for the first time, we did not have people complaining about the fees, right? So that's really something positive to see. Now, colleagues, one way we can really engage and build this agenda of eye health, Professor Kagame challenged us here. We can sit and talk the whole day, but we have to do something. One of the things that has really made me very happy with this meeting is at least we have formed a task force to have the national guidelines on cataracts quality, and this is going to be one of the first documents that comes out of this college. And the college, as COEXA, is really behind also to make sure this is elevated to the level that it should be. I also want to encourage you to support your society. It is very, very important. Very, very important. Because a strong society is able to do many things for us. This leadership is the first time we have a college that has a secretariat, also has a secretariat. I think we'll be hearing about it in the in the report. But we actually have staff who is paid by the society, and then they can do all this work that we want them to do. That is a good and positive thing. It can only happen when members keep supporting their society. Offer yourselves for leadership. Please, leadership is something to be aspired for, but also it's something you should not be shy about. You know, it is, we are coming to the elections, and I would be interested to see how many people are vying. But offer yourselves for leadership. Offer yourselves to serve. We have the COEXA Congress coming up in we have the COEXA Congress coming up next year, and there will be very, very many opportunities to serve. I think the OSU has already communicated and engaged with us. We need people to support all these committees that are coming up. Please, members, offer yourselves to serve, because that is one way of not just celebrating your college, but it's a way of being noticed. And when opportunities come, it is a way that you can tap into those. So please, offer yourselves and let us support our society in preparing a wonderful COEXA Congress next year. This is going to be memorable because it is in Uganda, and I happen to be the COEXA president. I was saying my residents, all of them must present at COEXA Congress. No one is exempt. But let's really gather behind the leadership that we are with to make sure that we deliver a very strong conference. Please embrace the opportunities. There are so many opportunities which are coming up within the college. There are opportunities of fellowship training. We just have news that we have got funding that will be launching the glaucoma fellowship program that's going to be delivered in Kisi under Professor Kiage. And the VR training that Dr. Eji talked about. We have the pediatric fellowship program that is at the Kenyatta Hospital. So the opportunities are there. When the applications come, when the co-applications come, put it in your application. Don't shy away. I tell you the question how we can get that capacity in Uganda. The first step is to offer ourselves and go for opportunities. We have I'm very happy recently report, as I mentioned, there are many institutions which have applied to do this training to residents who train for its fellowship program. Imagine the infrastructure at many that is there. Those are very, very fantastic. So let us encourage ourselves. Let us really support them. This come for exposure. Let us really encourage. We have seen that the work is much. This week we have, I did not come this week we're delivering the global eye health course. But the course is to share the burden, to make people understand in Uganda. For example, we realize that from the cultural research that we have available, it's going to take us the work is really much. Let us collaborate with each other. Let us not compete. Let us collaborate with each other. Share whatever knowledge you have. Share whatever infrastructure and resources. And we will build a very strong college. A college that is strong and a college that has. Thank you, and I wish you a wonderful rest of the meeting and the reception. National delegates, thank you. Let's enjoy the network after here.
Thank you for the invitation with us and championing us and gentlemen. I am too sorry that we have a big task coming. We are the hosts. Our online community, we are also calling upon you to make it big. We were challenged by Ethiopia and everywhere we've been going. When they come to us here, we should have the largest number of presentations. We are sitting on data. Let us go and write whatever we write. It makes meaning to other people. We have what to show to them. And also when they come, we shall go and learn from them. Let us make this COEXA count. We have the last speech. And the last speech is going to come from our host. And that's the president of OSU, Ugandan Society of Ophthalmologists. Because he is the one now to tell us what next.
Thank you so much, MC. And thank you, everyone. I think I said a lot yesterday already. I'm not going to say too much right now. Just to thank everyone for sparing their time to come and join us for this conference and for appreciating how much effort we put into organizing this. This was for all of us here. I want to thank our partners, MU Pharma, Otaga World, Mego Hospital, Swastika Pharmaceuticals and Agent Pharmaceuticals, along with the Self-Care Foundation and Charity Vision. I think we are now going to move into our private session, which is AGM. We will request kindly that those who are not ophthalmologists or residents exit and give us a little space to sort our in-house issues. Thank you for understanding.
Ladies and gentlemen, the person with the biggest power is the MC. When he talks, I want to say where to go and when to go. For him, he's giving you a bit of authority, but it is the MC to tell you when to leave. Now, does that mean that the Congress is over? Is there a transport refund? Now, when he has answered where the Congress is over, I'll tell you where to go. But our guests will still have lunch. We have lunch, you can share lunch with us. Lunch will be served. Let me find out where it will be served.
Our guests can use this time to network outside if the lunch is not yet ready. Please move closer. Let's have us all in the central area so that we are more visible. And the MC will lock that door if you see any ophthalmologists trying to walk out. Lock that door.
Yes, our lunch shall be in the hall opposite. Don't bring the lunch for us. We prepared it for you. For the ophthalmologists, for the OSU members, you have to stay behind so that now we can plan, so that we can become strong members. So by the people who feel will be forward, the non-ophthalmologists, we thank you so much.